A lot of people think paint color trends are just clickbait or made up marketing fluff. And yeah, sometimes they are, I'm not gonna lie. But every now and then, a few colors break through and actually get used. Not just on TikTok or in curated magazine spreads or something, but in real lived-in designer projects. In this video, I'm sharing 5 paint color categories and the specific colors that are leading the charge. These are showing up on walls, ceilings, cabinets, and for good reason. I think they're versatile, they're fresh, and they actually make a space feel better. That's what we're trying to accomplish here. Let's get into the video right before this quick message from us. Are you looking for a full-service online color consultation? Check out the link below because we are offering a personalized color consultation service with Maria, our full-time consultant. You can have a back and forth communication to make sure you're picking the right colors for your space. Details are all below. So I'm going to start with an easy one, soft, elevated neutrals. There's been a major shift away from cold, sterile grays towards more organic, balanced neutrals. These aren't the heavy beiges of the early 2000s. They're not. They're different.
No.
They're not the blank slate whites of the minimalist era either. They're subtle, layered, and just warm enough to create depth without stealing the spotlight. I think designers love these because they work across so many different design styles, from modern rustic to quiet luxury, and they also pair extremely well with natural materials like linen, plaster, unlacquered brass, and of course warm wood tones. No brainer. One color that's become a standout to me is French Canvas by Benjamin Moore. It's technically a warm off-white, but with just a whisper of a greeny gray quality that keeps it grounded. It reflects light beautifully, but has more personality than something like White Dove, which I also love, but for different reasons. I've seen it used in open concept spaces, on ceilings, even as a millwork and baseboard trim color, and it holds up everywhere. Really beautiful choice. We then have warm earth-based tones. We're seeing a big return to these grounded, comforting color palettes. Think warm browns, still a bit of terracotta vibes happening, muted taupes, but not the overly rich versions you might remember from, Tuscan kitchens. These are earth-inspired tones that have a softer edge, even a subtle rosy mauve undertone that make them feel a little more modern and fresh. These shades are ideal for creating a moodier, cave-like or cocoon-like space without going too dark. You don't have to go all the way to charcoal or off black. And what I like about these options is they pair well with textured fabrics, your blue clay, or if you have a nice lime wash on your walls. Dark bronze metals as well, and other creamy whites, they go very well with one another. One of the most popular in this category right now that has kind of been under the radar for me, but I'm glad I discovered it. It's Dirty Chai by Clare Paints. I told you I'd talk more about Clare Paints. This is a deeper mid-tone brown with a touch of warmth that feels kind of nostalgic, but still fresh. Like one of those things where design's cyclical, right? So what was old is now new again. This is totally that kind of vibe. I love this in dining rooms or a moody powder room or on lower kitchen cabinets even for that high-end layered look. Really, really cool choice. Number 3, complex blues. Blue has always been around. It's no stranger to design, but in 2025, designers are leaning into more complex, moody takes, but not your classic navy and not your bright powdery blues that were popular a couple years ago. These blues often have gray or even a bit of a green undertone that shift depending on the lighting, which makes them incredibly dynamic. Perhaps a bit tricky to work with sometimes, but the payoff could be totally worth it. They're being used in home libraries, offices, definitely bedrooms, either on all the walls or on an accent wall, maybe behind the headboard. Spaces where you want a bit of depth and sophistication without it feeling overly dramatic and just in your face. A favorite in this category is Denm by Farrow and Ball. Love this color. It's a chalky blue-gray that has that old world, slightly lived-in, worn-in European vibe. It feels rich, but still soft. Try pairing it with lighter woods, antique brass hardware, and textured neutral upholstery, so then it can look both vintage and modern depending on the setting, and allow it to really stand out and pop. Beautiful option. Continuing with the complexity, what about complex off-white? You might be surprised to hear this, or not. But designers are still obsessed with off-whites. The difference this year is they're choosing off-whites with a little more character, undertones that create subtle shifts depending on the time of day or surrounding colors. These are especially great in homes where natural light plays a big role, and you want the walls to feel soft and warm without being obviously painted or primed if it's just a stark white. These colors also work beautifully with natural stone and warm metallics. If you have any like handmade tiles or light oak, either in the cabinetry or even on the trim. I think a great pick here would be Natural Cream by Benjamin Moore. To me, it sits neatly between grayish and ivory with just enough warmth to feel lived in. It doesn't lean too yellow or too pink or peachy, and it avoids a sterile look that some white paints fall into. I really like it in living rooms that have those beautiful vaulted ceilings or transitional hallways where light shifts throughout the day. One of your main colors that can kind of go everywhere in the home as a starting point. This is a great option for all of those cases. Number 5, blush infused neutrals or nearly neutrals. Designers are playing more with these pinky, dusty, red blush tones, but not in a bubblegum or ultra femme way, I guess you could say. These are complex, sun-baked shades that add a surprising amount of warmth and polish to a space. They're often used in rooms where you want a softer vibe or ambiance, guest bedrooms, nurseries, the powder room perhaps, but they're also showing up in modern kitchens paired with stone counters, and if you have, matte black finishes, I feel like that's a great sort of pairing as well. And one that's made a major, fairly recent comeback is Redend Point by Sherwin-Williams. It's a muted pinky clay color that really caught a ton of attention when it was color of the year. And while some thought it would just fade away quickly, it's actually proving to be a really flexible, grounding color, especially when you style it with earthy textures like raw wood. And if you have any ceramics in your home that are more of a matte finish, I feel like that's a great fit. Natural fiber rugs, whatever you want to go with, they're all perfect. I find it interesting how some of these colors feel familiar, but designers are using them in completely new ways. And when you see them in real homes with the right finishes and materials, they all suddenly just make sense. I'm curious which one caught your eye, so drop the name in the comments or just hit me with a paintbrush emoji if you're already planning a sample test. And if you're in the middle of picking colors for your home, you might want to check out this other video too. It dives into the colors that aren't aging so well this year.